We need at every level, from the highest echelons of the government to the smallest village community, leadership that is both moral and innovative. This is very important this time. And as a Global Peace Foundation India, it is my pleasure to do partnership with Dr. B.R. Ambedkar University of Social Science for these very important sessions. I am so glad to know that the main goal of this university is to uplift and empower the lowest section of the society. I especially want to thanks to the Dr. Pathak to connecting such important institutions. I guess some of us are very new about this Global Peace Foundation. I'd like to briefly to let you know about what is Global Peace Foundation. The Global Peace Foundation is an international, non-sectarian, non-partisan, non-profit organization which promotes an innovative value-based approach to peace building, guided by the vision of one family under God. GPF engaged and organized a global network of public and private sector partners to develop community, national, and regional peace building models at the foundation for the ethical and cohesive societies. Our vision is very simple. It's very clear. I think it's very appropriate we understand this world. That vision is all humanity is one family under God. The Global Peace Foundation affirms the importance of universally recognized principles and shared values as essentials to building social cohesion within nation and the global community. We do have 4 principles. Number 1, we work based on these principles. Number 1 is all people have intrinsic value, dignity, and fundamental rights as endowed by the Creator. Number 2, every person has as his or highest attribute a spiritual and moral essence. Number 3, our human nature finds its fullest expression and meaning in relation to others. Number 4, people develop their innate potential through their choices and actions. Freedom and responsibility are strictly linked. Understanding our shared identity and common aspiration as a members of human family establish the basis for lasting peace. It lays the foundation for respect, empathy, and shared responsibility beyond the boundaries of ethnicity, religion, and nationalities. I'm very happy to share with you. Currently, Global Peace Foundation is working and it's a pioneering initiative for foster peace and social cohesion in 15 countries. So what we do is our activity is based on social cohesion and peace building, moral and innovative leadership, empowering the youth, models for the development. In today's conference, so we will discuss, there are agenda which we circulated to all our speakers. There are 3 agenda basically we will discuss. Number 1, the conference we will discuss on identity-based conflict, globalization, and multiculturalism. I'm sure it's a very important agenda because we all have our one individual level identity to the as a group, as a national level identity, religious level identity we carry on. So because of this identity create a lot of conflicts among the non-state actors and then create a lot of violence classes in the world. So second topic we will discuss, I guess this is also a very important topic, spiritual wisdom of ancient India and the world peace. As we all know, India is a very rich heritage of philosophy, spirituality, and it has much more offered to the world. So today, in all these sessions, our scholars will define and discuss and present the framework for peace and discuss how to Indian ethos at the Vasudhaiva Kutumbakam can contribute to the lasting paradigm for global peace. Third, today all the speakers and we will discuss in this very important sessions moral and innovative leadership for peace and harmony. As you know, regional hotspot of religious identity-based conflict threaten global security and development. We should promote the unique approach to peace building that emphasizes the need for the moral and innovative leadership in every sector of society. I'm sure this session will discuss how a broad coalition of multi-sector partners working for the greater good can address conflict and corruption in the community and the nation around the world. So after all, we all will be agree after all this session. I hope we will be agree and we will articulate the universal principle and build a cohesion around shared values guided by the visions the Vasudhaiva Kutumbakam. This conference aims to promote social cohesion, develop the consensus among the scholars of different persuasion towards global peace and harmony, develop the youth movement for culture of peace and service. So, which will strengthen partnership among us, like us and the like-minded peoples and the organization. So, we do have by the permission by the chair, Dr. Goswami, I would like to introduce to you our Professor Deepak Kumar Verma, who is the Dean of School of Social Science, B.R. Ambedkar University of Social Science, to welcoming an introductory address. So, Professor Kumar, the floor is yours. Please address.
Pranam. Good morning from India to all. Thank you, Rabaji, for giving me this opportunity to welcome all our honorable dignitaries on the virtual dais in this international conference being jointly organized by Dr. B.R. Ambedkar University of Social Sciences and Global Peace Foundation. We have with us, with the gracious presence of our Honorable Vice Chancellor, Professor Asha Shukla ji, and this international conference is being chaired by Honorable Professor V.K. Goswami ji, the visiting scientist UNDO, and also former Vice Chancellor Sangam University. With the permission of the chair of this conference, may I reflect upon some introductory points about the organizing institutions and as well as the welcome and introductory address may place some points for consideration as has been put up by Mr. Darba Lamishani. We have with us our honorable chief guest, Ganesh Shahaji, who is former Minister of Environment, Science and Technology, Nepal. And as the keynote address will be delivered by Dr. Markandeya Rai, Honorable National Chancellor of the Global Open University. And we have eminent speakers, Dr. Chand Bardwaji, the Trustee of GPF India and General Secretary SAS. Aya Goto, Senior Vice President, Global Peace Foundation, present at USSTL. Reverend Joseph John Hayab, Special Advisor on Christian and Pilgrimage, Nigeria. Sherilyn Stanton Tombe, Program Development Coordinator, Global Peace Fund at Philippines. Sutya Rahmi Uttamai, General Manager, Global Peace Foundation at Indonesia. and my colleague Durba Lamshani, National Representative JPF from Nepal. We all welcome all the participants in this international conference. And on behalf of Dr. B.R. Ambedkar University of Social Sciences and Global Peace Foundation, and in particular on behalf of our Honorable Vice Chancellor and all faculty members of the university, we convey our Sadar Pranam to all and welcome to this international conference. In the introductory remarks, as the theme reflects on Vasudev Kutumbakam, we consider it is the motto for sustainable development. It is the motto for sustainable living. It calls for moral leadership and spiritual wisdom in the multicultural society in that we live. It's a global world order that is required for peace and harmony. In that direction, it is very important to understand that we are passing through an age of moral leadership crisis. And in the pseudoscience, we have been very much affected by lack of spiritual wisdom that we must apply. And we have seen in this current pandemic, it's very important to understand. So, our university, being the first university of social sciences in the country, which is specifically working on these objectives, it would be my humble request to all the participants and our eminent speakers, our keynote speaker, and our chief guest, and also the chairperson, to kindly guide us on such issues in which the importance is not only with the leadership that is required, the moral leadership that is required, but the means and ways. Because we have been organizing such event and we have seen the Buddhism giving us this eightfold path. But more required is of our ancient culture, the traditions. And may I place before you the era, the age of Rama. And we call it Ram Rajya, the concept which is nothing but built upon moral leadership, spiritual wisdom in the multiculturalism. So, how we can establish Ram Rajya again, and how we can guide to the entire world, not only to face such pandemics, but to have certain kinds of directions given to the larger society to live in peace and harmony. So, in that, we have got some empirical research studies also, because our university and as the National Institute of Social Sciences, we have conducted empirical studies in more than 10,000 villages on different ethnic groups, tribal societies, gender justice. And from all these empirical studies, we get this point that for development and to ensure sustainable development, achieving the sustainable development goal by 2030, it is very essential to not only inculcate, develop, promote, but to establish the model leadership with guiding models at all levels. So it's very important to discuss on that part. And if we can have some tenets, some guiding principles on model leadership, which can be taken as a part of training for our leaders, not only to show the model leadership, not only to practice moral leadership, but to inculcate in our students such values so that in future they really become moral leaders. So we need discussion on that, and we need to have, from our university point of view, some guidance from our learned speakers, chief guest, keynote speaker, and chairperson, so that we can translate those principal tenets in our syllabus curriculum for our students. That is the new national education policy of our country, and which is very meaningful because we are now moving again towards re-establishing India as a Vishwaguru, as we have the Vasudev Kutumbakam, our philosophy. So, how this spiritual wisdom can be a part of our syllabus, can be the part of our curriculum for all levels of education, so that we live with a peace and harmony in this world. So, these are certain questions, see that these are certain areas in which we need to request you for your guidance, for enriching our academic programs. And that is the purpose of jointly organizing this international conference by Dr. Babasaheb Ambedkar unanimously established this university. And as has been introduced by my colleague about the Global Peace Foundation working in 15 different countries in the world. So this our joint collaboration will certainly help all the academicians of the world, and in particularly in making effective and impactful implementation of national education policy, so that we can give directions to different countries also to adhere to and adopt such kind of education policies, which are very important in that way. So I thank you. Thank you very much for giving me this opportunity to place before you some introductory parts in concept form, and also the guidance that we need from this international conference, a kind of declaration, if it is possible, from this international conference on moral leadership and spiritual wisdom and multiculturalism for peace and harmony. That would be wonderful, and would like to, because we are having representatives from United Nations also, so that will be helpful for us through this international conference to have a certain declaration, because in this current crisis, this moral leadership is crucial. Spiritual wisdom is very essential to establish peace and harmony in the multicultural society. We have become a global world, a global village, as we used to call it, and Vasudev Kutumbakam is the concept which really realize this kind of approach, and we can have the egalitarian society, and we will certainly achieve the sustainable development goals by 2030. I welcome you all, one and all, with all my humble request for your gracious presence and interaction. I invite with my colleague, Mr. Drabaji, for further proceedings, please. Thank you very much.
So,
Well, good morning to all. It's my righteous duty as a chair of this very prestigious conference. I'm really honored and thankful to the Global Peace Foundation, as well as the great university by the great person named Dr. Bhimrao Ambedkar University of Social Sciences. Well, this is just a request to all the erudite speakers. Most of the speakers are very close friends to me, and I cannot do the unpleasant duty to tell them to stop in between, because if we do that, we will be losing the lot of knowledge passages and so many things. But however, I would request to everybody of you that I will just give an indication about 2 minutes before, so that we can honor the drill given by the organizers of 10 minutes speaking for everybody, with a little privilege to some people like me who do not deserve to be a 15 minutes. So let's restrict to this thing, and let's make this very ethical type of a moral, all the leadership or the moral leaders with embedded with spirituality. And of course, this multicultural is what we are seeing, men from Nigeria, men from uh, Indore and men from all the states
Mr.
of.
Goswami, you are requested to unmute your video. Your video is not visible.
Okay, I think my video was off. Anyhow, I am happy that some people like my face and you wanted to see that face. And thank you very much. And let's start quickly with the first speaker. And I think Prasad would be the nice to tell the speaker and request to the speakers to come on the front and enrich to all of us with their knowledge. And to the great viewers, we assure you that we will be quite ethical, quite righteous in completing the topic so well by the every speaker. And let's have the Vasudev Kutumbakam. May God bless everybody. Thank you very much. And Shri Ganeshaya Namah.
Thank you, Chair. Thank you so much giving me this responsibility. I will happy to carry forward. I'm really thank you, Professor Deepak Kumar Burmaji. So he is very nicely point out that to achieve our set goal, we must have to have a vision of the global vision as Vasudhaiva Kutumbakam, and we must also have to incalculate all those young people with the value of the moral leaders. So I would like to again to move to on the next keynote address in order to introduce such a personalities, with a certain time, and they have a whole life. They have done many things in their life. It's not easy. But briefly, I will introduce our next speaker. He is Dr. Markandeya Rai. So he is currently holding many positions, as he have done a lot of works previously, but currently he is a National Chancellor of International Association for Educators for World Peace. Also, he is a Chancellor for the Global Open University, Nagaland. He have a lot of responsibility. He is also the Chancellor of the Indira Gandhi Technological Medical Science University. Also, he is a Senior Advisor, UN Habitats, which is a UN-based organization. Also, he have a responsibility as a President, Global Peace and Development Service Alliance. He is a very important member of Global Leadership Councils, which is the organization which is working for the world peace. Also, he is a Foreign Affairs Committee member, Indian Council for International Corporations. So by this very short introduction, I would like to request Dr. Markandeya Rai, the floor is yours.
Thank you, Dhruva. I have a PowerPoint presentation. How to load that one, that is what I wanted to get your help. I have the PowerPoint presentation. How to load that one?
Sir, can you go to our presentation in the present now? Is there, if you look down, present now, just you can do present now. Can you click there?
Yes, I've done that.
So you can share from there.
Shall I click entire screen?
Share window.
Yes, share window.
Sorry. Share window.
Yes.
Okay. And how to load that presentation in that one?
So now your presentation will be visible in your screen. So select it.
Okay, I have selected it.
Yes, and double click there.
Okay. Can you see that?
No, sir.
I can see my presentation, but can you see that?
No, sir, we can't see it.
That's why. So I'm just coming back to the screen. I have my presentation on the screen, but how you can see that?
Sir, you need to share it.
Just a moment.
Dr. Bindia, please help him. Your mic is mute. Bindia ji, aapka mic.
Yeah. Very good morning, sir. So at this below page, there are 3 points, and from there you can share your PPT, sir.
I can go to this one and
Yes.
can you repeat again the instruction?
Sir, at the below there is an option to present the screen, sir. You may be having 9 dots or 3 dots.
Yeah, 3 dot is there.
Yes, sir. You just hit it. And you may find you can present your entire screen.
So how to load load the share? Huh?
Okay, could you please mail me the PPT? I could share here, sir, if you are getting any problem. I'm just mailing in my chat box my email ID.
What is your mail ID? No,
Yeah.
it is taking much time. I can connect with my mobile and I can give a presentation on my laptop. That is better.
Okay, sir.
Okay.
Sir,
Sorry for the inconvenience. Huh?
no, your presentation need not to be loaded because it is playing in your computer. So it will be visible if you do the screen sharing.
So either it is phone or laptop, you need to share the screen, sir.
Let me join from my phone.
Yes, sir. Yes.
Yeah.
आपको अपना लैपटॉप बंद करना पड़ेगा सर.
Now I'm just unmuting myself. I want to unmute. It is not unmuting in my. No, I want to unmute my. Yes. Now I think I have connected. Can you see me now?
Yes.
Okay.
आपको लैपटॉप म्यूट करना पड़ेगा.
But I have to give this.
आपके सर दोनों स्क्रीन जो है ना ऑन है. प्लीज म्यूट वन.
Now it's okay?
Yes.
Okay, good. First of all, good morning to everybody. I am really thankful to the Global Peace Foundation and Dr. B.R. Ambedkar University for Social Sciences for
Sir,
organizing this webinar.
Sir, please.
Topic is very broad, and very close to my heart. The moral leadership, spiritual wisdom, it is very important for all of us to sincerely think on this mantra. And my presentation today is Vasudhaiva Kutumbakam, the mantra for spirituality, peace, and harmonious world. We are talking for a long time about this ancient Indian philosophy of Vasudhaiva Kutumbakam, and I'm hearing this one from my childhood. And we all quote left and right. Almost all the major religious and faith take ownership and claim to believe in this philosophy. They claim that we practice on it also. We have some NGO whose main message is to attain Vasudhaiva Kutumbakam, and they are working day and night. But do we really mean it? I have very doubt that we talk about it, do we live with it, or or is it just a lip service? Do we do it because we like the slogan? Maybe we're feeling good and innovated to be associated with this slogan. If it is not true, then what needs to be done? And that was the question from Professor Deepak Ji, the Dean of the Ambedkar University. How the moral leadership crisis can be addressed too, and how we can go for action in spite of talking, and we can't justify today. Otherwise, why the joint family are breaking, why the marriages are not surviving, ending in divorce, why our family has become a household nucleus family. We know that senior citizen houses are mushrooming in all the cities. Killing of girl footers and abortion is increasing. Do we leave it to the government to promote this philosophy, or can we play some role? I think it is time we can revive the grand and broader vision which can unite the global community as a family. We can turn towards spirituality and humanity where we are one at the level of soul, irrespective of color, race, ethnicity, and religious belief. I suggest that uh, I don't know whether you can see my slides or not, but I can see that I will start quoting Vivekananda. Observe that world needs spirituality to establish fearless in the new generation, self-discipline, hard work, and selfless service to the nation. He asserted, manifest divinity within you and address, mark if you give up spirituality, the result will be that in 3 generations you will be extinct. So this is important to save the humanity. Today's talk is when we are talking about moral leadership, I can say and I echo with Deepak ji that it is not only the moral leadership crisis, it is total spiritual crisis in this world now. So when we are talking about Vasudhaiva Kutumbakam, can we turn towards spirituality and humanity where we are one at the level of soul, irrespective of color, race, ethnicity, or religious belief? To start with, it starts from you and me. Can we save our family and marriages? Can we respect our elders, members of the family? Can we make India grow? Can we save girls' fetus and abortion? Can I say that let us see a dream from today? It is said that if one person see a dream, then it is a dream. But if many start seeing the same dream, it becomes reality. Can we see the same dream together of Vasudhaiva Kutumbakam? And I was referred by Dhruva about Dr. Hinjin Moon. He always quotes this Changiz Khan message. Let us see the dream together. It will become reality. What needs to be done? How this philosophy will help in curbing conflict and animosity? How we can promote it through give, love, and seva. That is the path of spirituality. Give to anybody, love, unconditional, and do service. If you are doing service, your ego evaporates and you become humble, and that is the highest level of spirituality according to Swami Sivananda. These are the core value of spirituality. Let us inculcate this thing in our life. In spite of looking others, we should promote, we should correct, we should change ourselves. Can we join hands with those who are promoting this philosophy alone and scale it up? Give, love and service is equal to spirituality. I will say today, what is Seva? Jeev Seva is Shiv Seva. Means service to humanity, service to Lord, according to Paramhansa. So we should start thinking how we can do service to our people, our neighbors, our country people, and global community. Ramakrishna also mentioned to Swami Vivekananda, I will quote, Narendra, service humanity with faith in the Creator. So, service to humanity is service to the God. And Global Peace Foundation always promotes one family under God, which is synonymous to the Vasudhaiva Kutumbakam. We have to practice that one. That is what my humble request today. Humanity and spirituality is an instinctive aspect of humanity, which is dynamic in nature. People seek ultimate meaning, purpose of life, relationship with self, society, cosmos, universe, not to speak with significant others. Usually, spirituality is expressed through beliefs, values, traditions, and attitudes developed towards life. It is also believed that there is a strong bond between spirituality and well-being of health and health practices. I can show you that spirituality, I have put some circles, connectiveness, meaning to the purpose of life, inner strength and peace, faith and hope, and transcendence and self-transcendence is the core value of spirituality. To be human is to be spiritual. Be kind, be authentic, be open, be patient, be accepting, listen to empathetically, demonstrate compassion, strive to empathy, acquire what is value. And I will mention the Sustainable Development Goals, which UN has adopted in 2015 September with the support of almost all the head of the state, including our Prime Minister Narendra Modi ji, that in 15 years time, by 2030, we have to make this world a better world through eradicating poverty, zero hunger, education for all, gender empowerment, and climate change, and so on and so forth. Life under the earth, life in the water, and so on and so forth, with the partnership with all the stakeholders. Why to do this? Why India should take lead the way Dhruva has mentioned that India has the ancient wisdom. I will quote Mark Twain. He said, I will quote, India is cradle of the human race, the birthplace of human speech, the mother of history, the grandmother of legends, great-grandmother of traditions, our most valuable and most destructive material in the history of man are treasured up in India only. Second thing, why to do this? India is a unique culture and is one of the oldest and greatest civilization of world. It has achieved all-round socio-economic progress during the last 74 years of independence. Buddha was mentioned by Deepak Verma ji. I will say simply, mentioning Buddha, Aap Deepo Bhava. Be a lamp into yourself. Enlighten yourself. Whole world will be enlightened. And Gandhi said, same thing, be the change you used to see in the world. And I will mention the Old Testament. He said, and they will have to beat their swords into plow shapes and their spears into pruning spears. Nation will not lift up swords against nations, neither they will learn war anymore. Sarvajan Hitaya, Sarvajan Sukhaya was the message from Adi Shankaracharya. I fully agree with Professor Verma, Dean of Ambedkar University, that it is the time of a spiritual crisis. In this time, the world faces a spiritual crisis as evidenced by the continuous rise of identity-based conflicts. These conflicts over nationality, ethnicity, religion, and tribal uh, affiliations threaten social relations on every level, especially with globalization expanding the significance and reach of previously localized challenges. While tremendous advances have been achieved in every sector of human society, they have failed to keep pace with our moral and ethical practices to the determinant of all life on earth. Our friend Hayab knows what is happening in Nigeria. I was reading that more than 300,000 people have been killed by terrorist group in northern Nigeria. It is shameful, but this is what happening. You can see in many countries what is happening nowadays. So what I said, we have to practice interfaith, and मजहब नहीं सिखाता आपस में बैर रखना, हिंदी है हम वतन है हिंदुस्तान हमारा. All religion teaches us that peace begins from each of us. We are ambassador of peace, and we have to make sure that world is peaceful. How to do that is a big question, but the answer is very simple. Be peaceful. Start from yourself. And the golden rule is to become more spiritual leader, more peaceful, more and to create more harmonious world. The golden rule is treat others the way you want to be treated. If you want to be respected, respect others. You want to be loved, loved others, and so on and so forth. I will give some principles which combines us as one family. What is the global ethics? That is the principle of equality, principle of acceptance and respect, principle of freedom and responsibility, principle of love and compassion, principle of ahimsa, non-violence. I am underlining it. Unless we have the peace with animals, birds, plants, trees, we can't be peaceful. So I am underlining to the whole world that we become vegetarian, and principle of engagement, principle of selfless services. These are the global ethics, because we have only one planet. There can be a plan A or plan B, but there cannot be a planet B. There is only one planet. Make this world for all by pledging to protect, preserve, and serve our home for all beings. Virus COVID-19 has paralyzed the world, and whole humanity is in crisis. COVID-19 is a common enemy of humanity, and it has challenged all of us and hit hard because it is affecting everybody, irrespective of caste, religion, race, and nation. Virus knows no boundaries. I am closing, sir. This worst crisis after Second World War. So it has exposed us, but it has taught many lessons also. That we have started rethinking about ourselves. We have given much time to the family. And last one, that our scriptures also always say that we must engage ourselves in the service of all beings. I'm underlying in all beings, not only human being, all beings. And that way we can become conscious, and the whole world is conscious and spiritual. So I will come to the proposal which Professor Burma has mentioned, that we should come with a resolution. And I will propose that one, that a working group should be formed to work and promote Vasudhaiva Kutumbakam and develop the work program and activities for India as input to the global peace. It will focus on how to strengthen peace program locally and globally. Second one, explore the possibility of hosting the global convention in India that requires to agree on date, venue, theme, and sponsorship to evaluate the projects and their impacts. Third, further fine-tune the global ethics to promote the philosophy of Vasudhaiva Kutumbakam. And last one, participate and sponsor participant in peace convention to scale up Sabka Saath, Sabka Vikas, Sabka Vishwas. And concluding last slide is the way Lord Krishna says in Gita verse 50 chapter 2, Yoga Karmasu Kausalam. Yoga is the art of work. Follow that one, all the crises will be resolved. And I will give the message. And I'm fortunate that we have the chair who is a great scientist, and he will support me. In 1927, a paper was published in Nature, and that proved to the scientists that universe is immaterial. It is conscious and spiritual. Let us make peace with nature and secure better future for all. Finally, I shall quote Mahatma Gandhi, be the change you wish to see in the world. Finally, Sarve Bhavantu Sukhina, let everybody be happy. Sarve Santu Niramya, everybody should be free from any sickness. Sarve Pashyan Bhadrani Pashyantu, Ma Kashidva. Nobody should suffer from any pain or difficulty. So with these few words, I will suggest that definitely we should go for a declaration, and that declaration should see that how we can change ourselves and transform others also. Thank you, Professor Goswami, for your patience, and for all the participants and listeners. Thank you.
Dr. Markandeya, thank you very much, and I must, before I request to Dhruvi, I must tell the audience and all the speakers here that you really started from a man, the Vasudhaiva Kutumbakam, a man who belongs to the United Nations organization, and he really spoke the way he has summarized his life experience with the Vasudhaiva Kutumbakam. Thank you very much, and I really request the next speaker now.
Thank you, Chair. By your permission, I really want to thank Dr. Markandeya for your keynote address. So, as per our program, our program, the chief guest has requested me. He have to be a little bit earlier, so a little bit I changed his speaking schedule. Today's our program, the chief guest, he is on the other former Minister of Science and Technology in the government of Nepal. To give his introduction, I love to say he is one of the very environmental loving persons. I'm sure he also will guide us today in these sessions as a scientist, he loved as a scientific way, as he was the Minister of Science and Technology, how we can achieve the moral and innovative leadership through the vision of Vasudhaiva Kutumbakam. Sir, today chief guest, Ganesh Saha. Sir, this is your forum is yours, please.
Hello, Dhruvaji.
Sir, you are audible.
Audible, good. So thank you very much for inviting me.
Please unmute your video, sir.
My video is...
Yes,
okay.
now.
Am I visible now?
Yes.
Okay. So thank you very much for inviting me as a chief guest on such a important topics of the model leadership, wisdom, peace building, and all these things, you see. So I feel very honored today that a lot of intellectuals, peoples, the former vice chancellors, deans. So first of all, I express my greetings, or what we call in our culture, pranam, to all our gurus who have been in this program. So I have inside my heart that all the time, our Dr. Deepak, you are talking about the Ram Rajya. And when I go to the students or to any community and talk about in the Ram Rajya, the ruler used to respect the gurus. You see, so even Ramji, when he went to because I come from the Janakpur where the Sita was born, so before he took any things, he took to take the permission of the Vishwamitra Guru. So my all the pranam and naman to all our gurus and spiritual leaders who are doing a lot of works in building the new generation with the new vision of peace and service. So I'll talk about briefly on 2-3 usages. First, I'll talk about the age, in which age we are living. I, as a Communist Party leader or working in the field of science, technology, environment with the young generation, I always talk about the one thing that the world is now living in the fourth stage of industrial revolution. So what is this industrial revolution and what are the impacts of this industrial revolution in our life, in our society, in our family? First of all, you see that when we talk about the industrial revolution, we talk about basically now, and every house we talk about the information technology, information revolution, or we call it now the digital revolution, the emerging technology. The emerging technology we're talking about the incoming days, the artificial intelligence, all these things. So I'll not go in detail, but only one thing I'll tell, that the scientific, technical, and innovation, the revolution, which we call the fourth stage of revolution, is impacting in our life very, very fast with a very high speed. And that has turned the new generation as a very much individualistic. And we have become a more and more consumeristic society. We don't care about our neighbor, don't talk about the society. Even then, we sometimes don't care our family members. So if we want to make a Vasudhaiva Kutumbakam or a one family under the God, we have to use the technology for our service, but we should not be the servant of this technology. So first of all, in this changing world scenario of science and technology and innovation, or what do I call the Revolution 4.0, in that we have the society first. The one thing I will say, that now with this, all these things, I said the spiritual leaders has to take into the consideration of this industrial revolution. Second point, I was very happy to see that our former Vice Chancellor Goswami, who is the chair of the Environment and Peace. So all the time, I think Durvaji remembered that about few years ago, 6-7 years before, we in Nepal under the GPF started a international conference on the peace, environment, and tourism. So how there is a linkage between the environment and the peace. So peace and environment is the interrelated, you see. I was talking recently to one of our, in our national programs on the environment, and we're talking, you see, all the wisdom comes, all the our Rishi Munis has written all the this Vedas on the banks of the rivers, because the water were clean, they were taking the bath. So there is a relation between the environment and the wisdom which you take in your mind. And that's why the previous speaker, keynote speaker, was not only talking about this, to respect the human being also, but all other things, you see. Now there's a big loss of the biodiversity, you see, on our other ecological losses. So on this all industrial revolution, where we got the CO2 emission, all the poisonous gases, is deteriorating our environment, you see. I sometimes talk, you see, I am a basically man working more on the water supply, sanitation, and hygiene sector, where I say all the time that our earth has become hot. Hot means when our body becomes hot, we say we are sick. Our temperature has gone rise. And it is not only that global warming, that's now globally called it the global warming, as in our language we call it to our people that our earth has got a fever, its temperature has gone high. So and our groundwater is also depleted. So for the environment or the peace, when there is a water, there is a peace and prosperity. So there is a challenge for all the moral leaders, spiritual leaders, in our wisdom. We have to save every drops of water. which is valuable for our future society also. So my second point is about the environmental, ecological, and other history. I'll not go much more detail because Dr. Goswami might say much more on these things, you see. So now I'm coming with this point. I'm going to third and my last point is that when I was young students in the school, 8, 7, 8, 9 class, I don't remember, our guru used to teach one thing. The wealth is lost, nothing is lost. Health is lost, something is lost. But the morality is lost, everything is lost. So how important is the morality? And for the leaders especially, any aspect of leader, whether it's a political leaders, whether it's a teacher, whether it's a spiritual leader, the morality is very, very important. And morality is not in words. It has to be shown in your life, in your behavior, in your culture. Then only people will think that you are a leader. Because I several times in my political I've been talking. For a political leader, the biggest strength is its moral strength. That is no other words than this. So this program will certainly enhance the moral leadership capacity of all who are taking part in it or those who are working these sectors in building the peace and the service culture. Second thing, my life spent in the what I call in the communist movement. I'm talking about the Gandhiji in all of my life. I say sometimes Gandhiji was very, very correct when he talks about the seven sins. When he talk about the politics without the principles, there is no politics. But in today's world, the politicians are deviated by the basic principle which they belong, especially the principle of what is your Vasudhaiva Kutumbakam. So because the world has become interdependent to each other. So as Gandhiji says, there is enough for everybody need, not for the greed. So from our talking about the spirituality leaders has to give and take that wisdom in their life for these things. At the same time, I talk 2, 3 things from the Gandhiji all the times. When they talk about the science without humanity is destructive. So when I'm talking in my very beginning that the science and technology has made the tremendous development in our society, has made our life comfortable. At the same time, it is going to be destructive. We are living in the nuclear war time. So we are talking with, as I told some previous speakers, we have written or we talk about the war, but we talk less about the peace. So science, that's why about 1 or 2 decades before, the UN has given a call that science and technology must be used for peace and development. So how we can use the science and technology for the peace building. At the same time, there is a misconception between spirituality and the leaders, religion. So religion or what we call spirituality has to show the sacrifices. So are we ready to sacrifice? I think all the moral leadership teaches us we must learn to sacrifice. So I think if you follow few things which has been called in our Hindu philosophy or in our Oriental philosophy, the things which teaches a lot of moral values, if we use in our life, certainly we can build more peaceful society, more peaceful family, more peaceful nation with the happiness and the whole world. So with these few words, again, I thank you, the organizers, especially I have a big respect to Ambedkar, the B.R. Ambedkar University, who is led by our Vice Chancellor, the Dean, who is the Dean of the Social Science, Deepak Ji. I just take you 1 minute that in our society, especially Nepal, India, where when the Ambedkar was saying this is a very much caste and religious society, caste discrimination is one of the basic things. We distinguish each other from the caste, so this what this university has to you have a big role in building the peace in our society, to develop the culture of service. So I wish your university a great success in your endeavor in the coming days, which is a very challenging, certainly, because I say in India media, whether say we are becoming very, very quaint. And lastly, with this COVID, we are living in the COVID pandemic. So I wish everybody stay safe, healthy, be creative, be innovative, and be productive also. With these few words, again, I thank you very much for giving this opportunity to address you as a chief guest. I was all the time working since last more than 1 decade with the Global Peace GPF. Before it was the Universal UPF. So I've been working, I visited as a member of the parliament, as a ministers in this conference. We are talking about the environment and peace, especially water and peace, because in the future, in the coming century, if there is any war, it will be war for the water. So how much water is important also, I talk about these things. So this again, thank you very much. I again say my pranam and naman and to all my gurus and to all my spiritual leaders for giving me this opportunity. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Professor Shah, and it's a great pleasure to be with you. And as a matter of fact, this is one thing I need not to raise my hand because I was just like a good student listening to everything what you are talking, you see. And the other thing now, whereas the madam has gone, but I must pay my regard to the Honorable Vice Chancellor. She was just on the screen and very nicely. And Dr. Shah has talked a lot of things of my heart, Environment and Peace Foundations. And exactly, he was very collaborative, like my other friends. And now we get enriched with the other speaker. His lecture was so nice and explanatory that I need not even summarize anything. That will be injustice to the chief guest. Thank you very much, sir.
Thank you, Chair. Thank you, Honorable Minister, for your chief guest address. Thank you so much. So I would like to request next presentation. For the first, I would like to give the brief introduction about him. The man who is working in a very long time for the peace and harmony. Same time, the man, I guess since he's a very young age, he have practice and he's trying to make other also learn how to be as a moral leaders, and the man who is also serving not just on the national level, as an international level, and he is working as a very important position of Global Peace Foundation International as a senior vice president, Mr. Ayagoto. So I would like to request Ayagoto, please address the forum.
Thank you very much, Dhruva. I appreciate so much Dr. B.R. Ambedkar University of Social Sciences to organize today's very important online conference. In this conference, we are privileged to have the Vice Chancellor, Professor Asha Shukla, representing a university. Thank you very much. I'd like to also thank Dr. Malkandai Rai and Dr. Surendra Pasak to prepare and organize this significant gathering. First of all, I'd like to express my sincere condolences to families who lost beloved ones due to the pandemic in India and other countries. We have all experienced the sadness of loss and the frustration of lockdowns. At the same time, serious conflicts and divisions have unveiled in many parts of the world, facing indignations and griefs caused by the confrontations. We came to notice that there is a considerable gap between the idea of peace and the reality. Therefore, many people have been engaged in the peacekeeping and peacemaking works to cease the fires and make some agreement between opposing groups. However, nowadays, I strongly feel that peace-building works are becoming more and more needed. The peace-building work requires a long-term process to address root cause of the conflict and build trust relationships, recognizing essential values as a human being in those who have different identities in culture, religion, and nationalities. Global Peace Foundation as an international non-profit organization has 17 national chapters and activities in more than 23 countries in the world. The GPF has a value-based approach to peace building, guided by the vision of one family under God. Through my direct experiences in India, meeting many spiritual leaders and scholars, I came to realize India's ancient idea, Vasudhaiva Kutumbakam, has the same spiritual attribute as one family under God. The universal principle and the values, guided by the spiritual vision, enable us to build cohesive relationships as members of one world family, regardless of race, nationality, religion, or culture. However, without the owner of spiritual vision, the peace-building works cannot make any progress. We need more peace builders as owner of the vision in order to make change in societies. This is the reason why GPA has been promoting moral and innovative leaderships to raise peace builders, taking ownership over the vision and demonstrating their creativities. GPF India, under leadership of Dr. Rai, Dr. Pasak, Dr. Bardaji, and Mr. Sharma, conducted a Global Peace Leadership Conference in 2014 to discuss the global framework for one family under God. As the outcome of the conference, the leaders came up with a New Delhi declaration. Taking actions in accordance with the declaration, also applying the universal principle and the values, GPF India has empowered college students to initiate activities tackling social and religious misunderstandings and prejudice. Today, I am glad to have the GPF's representatives from Nigeria, Philippines, and Indonesia. They will share their good practices to address their social issues, and they will explain on how they apply the value-based approach and moral and innovative leadership in their programs they are leading. GPF will have a virtual Global Peace Convention from August 7th to 15th this year under the theme of moral and innovative leadership in peace building for our changing world. The convention will have 7 tracks, which are focusing on value-based peace building, transforming education, free and unified Korea, global peace and development service, international religious freedom, women's leadership, and youth leadership development. I am pleased to invite today's all participants to the coming convention. Again, I appreciate B.R. Ambedkar University to give us a precious opportunity to discuss the very fundamental topics today. I'm enjoying learning a lot from today's distinguished speakers. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you, Senior Vice Chair. Are you like to say something? Sir, your mic is off.
Sorry, I was so much impressed with this talk that I forgot to put on the mic. Thank you very much, Dr. Gatu. You have really given very comprehensive things. And we talked about Nigeria. And I remember Nigerians were very kind to me in 2016 to invite me, and the topic was also related with the peace. And we also developed the positive child parenting models and how the peace can be established in the family itself, and right from that stage when the children are there. You see, you have to start from the root to inculcate the peace. And the familyhood has to be started from your own family, what one of the speakers said in the beginning. So then only the Vasudhaiva Kutumbakam will take place. Thank you very much. And I request now Dhruvi for the other enrichment.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, Chair. Thank you, Senior Vice President Ayagoto. It must be very late in the Seattle in USA right now. It may be around, I guess, 11. So all the audience, please understand we are our speakers are from the two different part of the world. So somewhere is getting night and then becoming good night, and somewhere is becoming good morning. So thank you. So next speaker, I would like to welcome and for your very important address. She is Charlene Tomobi. Actually, the Charlene is the very important the person, I guess, to guide us today. She's a very young and energetic, and she's working very long time for the youth area, and she is currently having the very important role in the global level, as she is the program development coordinator of GPF, not just in the one country, for the 17 country around the world. So same time, I am very happy to introduce Charlene here to all of you. She is from Philippines, but she lives in Japan with her family, and she is working globally. So let us welcome Charlene for your presentation. Floor is yours.
Thank you very much, Dhruva, for that great introduction. You make me nervous with that. And hi, everyone. I'm really honored to be speaking to all of you today. I'm the GPF Program Development Coordinator. So first, let me thank all of the honorable faculties and organizers of this webinar. Especially, I'd like to acknowledge the Honorable Chancellor, Asha Shukla of the Bros University, and also our valued GPF leaders who are here, Dr. Mark Anderai, Boto-san, and I know there are others whom I cannot see on the screen. So, I really love the theme of this webinar, which is moral leadership, spiritual wisdom, multiculturalism for peace and harmonious world. So, Vasudhaiva Kutumbakam. So actually, as a background of India, my family was or joined Hinduism for a year, and I was really amazed by the rich culture. I joined the rituals, and it was really colorful and amazing. And I also read the Bhagavad Gita. And that is still here in my head.
Wow.
And yes. That time I was just frankly 6 years old. And I was, with my father, we are reading it until my first grade in the elementary. So, and now I'm speaking in front of the leaders and the educators of India, and I really, really feel amazing. So let me start my presentation. I hope I can do this.
Yes.
So can you
Yes, now
see?
it is visible.
Okay, that's great. I got it. Yeah, so today I'll be sharing about youth development with Global Peace Foundation. Actually, I just took on this role from last year in August when the pandemic is at its peak. So let me start with the title is Affecting Identity-Based Conflict Through Youth Leadership and Engagement. So I believe that, and I know all of you also agree, that the youth are agents of change, and especially if you drive them towards peace building and affecting social transformation. That would just help us actually improve the future of our next generations to come, and that would also affect countries in any sector that we would like to develop. Okay. So as you know, Global Peace Foundation promotes an innovative values-based approach to peace building guided by one family under God. And primarily, global peace work is on peace building. So let me mention most of the critical issues that we are still experiencing even in the past 3 decades. So first is identity-based conflict, the widespread of corruption in many nations, violent extremism. So extremism in the name of religion is fomenting conflict and violence. And next is societies, also especially in the developed nations, there is the increasing secularism and materialism. So with that, also affects cohesion in the society, and there's serious family breakdown. And as you know, politics live for the sake of politics, and it's not really solving the issues of the world. So focusing on identity-based conflicts, this is now a growing concern because it's actually, if you research, it's really reaching its highest peaks. That's why you can see across the globe, suddenly war is popping up, just like what happened in Myanmar, also in Nigeria. And as you know, largely young people are involved or engaged in this civil wars. So let's look at some statistics and research. So interpersonal violence and gang violence, this is also identity-based conflicts. So it kills much more people than political violence. So here, 500,000 people are killed by interpersonal violence each year. So that's really a lot, 500,000. So that is 1,300 people a day, and 9 times the number of lives lost in open warfare. So interpersonal violence and political violence tend to be increasingly interrelated. So particularly where institutions are weak and social norms have become tolerant of violence. Also here, interestingly, conflict and violence have multiple dimensions. So if you look at the gray, the blue, and the brown bars, these are the sub-regional regional issues, violent ideology, and identity or horizontal inequality. So GPF's key focus areas, so that you will also know, in affecting change in identity-based conflicts, Number one, we do interfaith peace building. We discuss and have dialogue and also share about the shared values. And we do leadership development, family strengthening, and women leadership, transforming education, volunteerism through service initiatives, and the One Korea Global Campaign. So, why One Korea Global Campaign? As you know, Korea up to this date is the only nation divided, that is North and South Korea. So I believe that it's going to be the most noble accomplishment of everyone if they could contribute in the unity of the North and South Korea. So one thing of influencing that is also by bringing the youth to engage in this issue by promoting, in a positive way about unity and harmony. So, how do we really affect unity, peace, and harmony and solve identity conflict problems? Is by cultivating a mindset of peace. And that really starts with attitudes and our thinking. So, that means eliminating the us versus them mentality and seeing and realizing the intrinsic value in others. Family is the model for unity and diversity. So please think about and internalize these three main points as you go about with your initiatives and guiding uh, your people or your members or your colleagues, especially the youth. So in youth leadership development, last year I started initiating the Grow 3 Leaders. So owing to situations, the youth needs an intergenerational support by keeping an open line of communication to facilitate inclusion and active participation, helping overcome and resolve prevailing identity-based conflicts around them. So, just an example of this growth leaders, youth loves to interact and engage and really share about their opinion. Uh, and moreover, if it is heard by a higher leader or someone who is professional in the topic that they would like to improve upon. So this in the pictures are actually the global peace youth leaders in the chapters. So we have like twice, even thrice a week meetings, and now we are discussing how to give and receive and ask feedbacks across the organization because youth loves to engage and really feel free to express their thoughts and their opinions. So as for the leadership approach, this is also actually very usable for all of you. So this is from the Center for Creative Leadership. You can type that and you will see direction, alignment, and commitment is DAC equals leadership. So in GPF, applying that into our leadership development, especially starting with the youth, direction means the vision. So the vision is we are one family under God and we're going towards that. And values, which is shared values, plus the commitment as role models. So by saying role models, you are not diminishers, but you are multipliers of those vision and values as a leader. And that would bring you to becoming a moral and innovative leader. So let me double click more on values. So just by reading here, the starting point is motivation. And the noblest motivation is living for the greater good. And the higher you take it and the greater your aspiration, it becomes your dream big, the biggest dream. Our chairman always tells us, you dream the biggest dream. And that's how you get yourself committed, even it's going to be your lifelong commitment. And that is also the natural expression of your ownership. So this would inspire and engage others. So with that spirit that you carry as the owner of this dream, you can inspire and engage others and bring them into fulfillment, and that is teamwork. So this is what we call the Global Peace Values Framework. So 4, let's live for the greater good, dream big, ownership, and teamwork. So to bring the youth to engage, actually nowadays, because of so many conflicts going around in the society or wherever they go, even in the schools, it is really vital that we create safe spaces for youth engagement and inclusion. And I know the United Nations is also very active in promoting safe spaces for the youth. So by saying that, we as leaders, we innovate and design platforms that make youth feel acknowledged, heard, and part of the society building as leaders. So let me close by saying I believe that we are all here in this world is for one purpose, to love and be loved, as it is the highest and the truest expression of ourselves as part of one human family under God. Thank you, and together we stand strong.
Well, I will be failing in my duty if I don't express my gratitude to such a wonderful and very precise, comprehensive lecture from wonderful people from the country of a wonderful country, Japan, if I'm not wrong to understand you. I remember Swami Ramtir's quote, you see, when he went to Japan. He says, nothing I have to teach these people. They are always quiet, peaceful, and loving people. That's what the remark given by Swami Ramtirtha long back. And ladies and gentlemen, and all the viewers, I must tell you very proudly that this is the only country in the world which does not have the nuclear power. While has been devastated badly by the nuclear power, with the badly intentions, but have got no enemy with any country. Yeah, the spirituality is a blend of technology, spirituality, modernity, and the belief in the faith in God. Thank you very much. Thanks a lot.
Thank you so much, Dr. Goswami. Thank you all for listening and having me today. Yes.
Thank you, Sarling. With the permission by chair, I'd like to request to welcome another very energetic and young presenter for us. She is from Indonesia. Actually, her name is Miss Cynthia Rahami Utemi. She worked, and I guess she loved to work for the young peoples. And as per my understanding, and when I see her bio, she was the program coordinator as working in the national level. Indonesia is a huge country, as we know, and the highly populated country. And the TIA is the very active to working and mobilizing the young people and to guiding and to nurturing the value. So I would like to welcome Tia for your presentation. The dais is here. Also, I just like to tell you, like, I guess recently she's taking caring the Global Peace Foundation Indonesia as a general manager. So she have a huge responsibility over there. Yeah, floor is yours. She's arranging sticks, right?
Thank you very much, Dhruba, and good morning, everyone. I'm very humbled to share my experience in Indonesia to all the leaders and also the practitioners and scholars here. And let me try to share my screen. Can you see my screen?
Yes, it's coming. Yes, we can see.
Okay. So basically today I want to share more on the grassroots program that we do in Indonesia, especially the Global Peace Youth Indonesia. And before that, I just want to bring you to Indonesia. Even though now it's a pandemic, it's very sad that we cannot travel around, but I truly hope that the pandemic the situation can be better. And here I want to present Indonesia. Indonesia, we have a 270 million population, and as you can see here, most of the population is actually youth. 27.94% is a Gen Z, and the 25.83%, 87% is millennials. So our focus is Indonesia is definitely youth, because it's a bonus demography that we have, and if we don't do something about it, it will be a problem demography instead of a bonus demography. And when there's a problem demography, there will be many social and also the economic problem. And not only that, I also want to share about the Google Year in Research in 2020, that the mental health keyword increased by 70% and self-care keyword increased by 45%. So by looking at this research, we can see that many people feel there's something wrong about their mental, and there's something they feels that they need to do something about the self-care and that kind of thing. And I am I love India because I love doing yoga. I'm a yoga practitioner. Many people still thought that it's like, how come you're Muslim and then you do yoga? That's why the interfaith work is very important to uh, to to inform the people out there that the interfaith is something that we should see beyond just a ritual, that kind of thing. So that's what we do in the GPF Indonesia to GPY Indonesia. Global Peace Youth Indonesia is the youth division of Global Peace Foundation Indonesia that focuses on building a global network of moral and innovative leaders for peace and development. With a focus on the experiential learning, Global Peace Youth provides youth with an understanding of the shared vision of one family under God, combined with the Pancasila principles, this is our founding principles, into a learning process that can transform local challenges and problems into service and leadership opportunities. So Indonesia is a very big country, and we have so many provinces, so many islands, and we are happy to have the Global Peace Youth Indonesia local chapter in some provinces in Indonesia. And of course, it's all voluntary basis, and based on the youth initiative, we have have in the Java Island here, Bandung, Yogyakarta, Semarang, and Sumatra Island, Bangka Belitung, Borneo Island, and also at the Sulawesi Island. So what is actually moral and innovative leaders? For me, for short, I take it moral is living for the greater good. Means instead of just thinking of yourself, be selfish, you want to think of others. You want to contribute to the world. You want to contribute to your community. And what is an innovative leaders means instead of just doing a program or a project, we want to take it as like we are a problem solver. We want to use our creativity to solve the problem in our community, and that's why we call ourselves as a solution provider. So that's the things that I always also share to the youth in Indonesia. We are here in the Global Peace Youth. It's not only become like a event organizer or making a one-time project. It's not, but we want to solve the problem that we have, that we see in our community, and that's why by that we also can exercise our leadership. So how we do that? Actually, we can classify it into the three things. The first is the leadership development, and the second is the leadership network, and also the leadership impact. And the leadership development is actually before you can impact the community. Of course, you need to have some skill sets and also some experience. That's why here in the leadership development, we have some program to exercise the leadership of young people. And in the leadership network, we network them together, because sometimes you want to do something, youth want to do something, but they don't have other people to guide them or to work together with them and to mentor them. That's why in the leadership network, we group them into their peer, and we also mentor them to do the things that they want to do for their community. So that in the aspect of the leadership impact, we have the series of meeting and program on how they can multiply their influence and their impact to the community. And just want to share a few things that we do in Indonesia. Of course, we do the social cohesion and peace building. Later on, I can share you about the Millennial Peace Festival. We also do the empowering families and youth through our Global Peace Youth Indonesia local chapter empowerment, and also the moral innovative leadership through the Global Peace Youth Indonesia Academy series. So we have this Global Peace Youth Indonesia Academy series, but because of the pandemic last year, we cannot have an in-person program. That's why for us, the very important as a youth is not only learn, but we need to relearn and unlearn, because many times the how to say, the situations made us to think of another way to deliver the message and how to do our project. That's why maybe last time it's enough for just in-person program. That's what we learned through camp, through seminars, but we need to relearn that, and we need to unlearn and relearn that. And now we do our program through the Zoom webinar, and we also use the Instagram live, because now in Indonesia youth mostly they use Instagram. And we also have a podcast. We use a podcast for the people, because not everyone can access to the good internet connection. So for the podcast, because you only will hear the sound, so it won't require the good internet connection. And we also utilize the WhatsApp group. We have a WhatsApp group learning every month. So this is how we still want to do the leadership development and upgrade the skills of the youth in Indonesia through this academy series. And The next thing is the Millennial Peace Festival. Is actually the prevent violent extremism advocacy through awareness raising events at campus and schools. So we done this project before the pandemic with the UNDP at the 6 provinces in Indonesia. And of course, the most important things is to partners with the university. So we work with the 6 university and also the 30 schools in the 6 provinces in Indonesia. And it's actually not only like the awareness raising events, but it's also the time for them to network. We are able to have more than 7,000 students through this event, and after that, until now, we can see that some of them is still doing the program together. So it's really great to see that even though our program seems like it's just a festival, but it can have a long-term impact for them too. And this is the things that are very important for the sustainability, the Global Peace Youth Indonesia local chapter empowerment, because we don't want to do the things just from the GPF office. We want to, what we are doing now is actually empowering the youth. Because we want not only one youth to be a leader, but we want many leaders. We have in Indonesia, more than 70% population is the youth, and we want this youth to be able to be a moral and innovative leaders. That's why our focus is how to empower them to create impact in their community. And so we do some monthly development program with them, where we have some skills to learn, not only from the GPF office, but we invite the expert and also the academician on the things that needed for them to create impact in their community. And we have this training and mentoring programs carried out by GPF Indonesia for the Global Peace Youth Indonesia local chapters. So I think that's all the things that we are trying to do in Indonesia, and I believe that this model actually can be done in everywhere. And I'm more than happy if anyone want to discuss and contact me to know more about what we are doing in Indonesia. And I want to conclude my presentation with one quote from Gandhi that I love the most: "You must be the change you wish to see in the world." So I always tell it to every youth that I met in Indonesia, that everything must be started from us and from yourself, from ourselves, and that required the commitment and also the ownership. So I think that's all. Thank you very much for inviting me to share the experience in Indonesia.
Well, thank you very much. Cynthia is very energetic, as she's the very youngest speaker in the audience or in this gathering, you see. And we must appreciate the last message which you have given. The charity begins from home, rather at home. You have to start the things right from. If you want to change the world, you must change yourself. Very nice. Thank you very much. And we congratulate you and wish you best of luck for the job which you have been given. A rightly chosen young fellow, Dhubi, by you for this GPF. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, Chair. Thank you, Tia. Thank you for sharing the very wonderful your work in the Indonesia. I would like to present our next speaker. The next speaker is a person. He is currently working in the as a consultant in the Dr. B.R. Ambedkar University, the university which is doing partnership. He is the person have a long academic background. Before he used to teach in the this B.R. Ambedkar University, he used to teach in the professor as a Gujarat Vidyapith Ahmedabad. Same time, he used to be the professor and head department in Chetana Vikas Mulli Sansthan at the IAS University. He have a lot of academic backgrounds, teaching, as well as he is a person who is always appear in different kind of presentation seminar, and I am proudly present you. He is the person whom I'm working since 2013, and moreover to say to you, rather than all this academic and his experience, his journal published and all this thing, he is the best soul ever I meet. He is none the other than Dr. Surendra Pathak. So floor is yours, sir.
Thank you, respected chair, and other respected speaker of moral leadership, multiculturalism, and spiritual wisdom for peace and harmony, harmonious world, Vasudhaiva Kutumbakam. I would like to request chair that I want to deliver my speech in Hindi. If you allow, sir. So
you are welcome. And before
Very good, very good, very good.
Yes,
very good. And before you say,
Very good, sir.
I must support you, and my salute to Honorable Vice Chancellor. Also, she has joined now. You see, I remember one couplet of very great poet Matheson Gupta. चाहूं जो सांची निज कल्याण सब मिल बोले हिंदी हिंदू हिंदुस्तान. So if you are daring to speak in Hindi, that's very nice of you. Thank you very much.
सबसे पहले इस विश्वविद्यालय की माननीय कुलपति महोदय प्रोफेसर आशा शुक्ला, आज के की नोट एड्रेस करने वाले मार्कंडेय राय जी, जीपीएफ के वाइस प्रेसिडेंट आयो गोतो जी, वेलकम स्पीच प्रस्तुत करने वाले प्रोफेसर डी के वर्मा साहब, और आज के जो चेयर हैं, और हमने अभी 3 विदेशी विद्वानों को भी सुना। मैं जीपीएफ के साथ बहुत सारे कार्यक्रमों में साझेदारी करता रहा हूं और जीपीएफ इंडिया का मैं ट्रस्टी भी हूं। आदरणीय मार्कंडेय राय जी के नेतृत्व में हम लोग जीपीएफ इंडिया में काम कर रहे हैं, जिसमें ध्रुवा जी जो है हमारे सारे कोऑर्डिनेशन के बीच में एक सूत्रता का काम करते हैं। यहाँ पर मैं 2-3 बातें ही बोलना चाहता हूँ, क्योंकि समय की अपनी सीमा है, मुझे अपनी 10 मिनट के अंदर अपनी बात को रखना है। मूलतः मैंने ये चुना था कि मैं स्पिरिचुअल विजडम के बारे में बोलूँगा, और जब भारत में स्पिरिचुअल विजडम की बात आती है तो वैदिक परंपरा की बात आती है, और वैदिक परंपरा को मैं इस तरीके से देखता हूँ कि हमारी वैदिक परंपरा का जो सार है उसमें ज्ञान, विवेक और विज्ञान, ये 3 हिस्से हैं। ज्ञान को हम लोग ऋग्वेद और सामवेद में देखते हैं, यजुर्वेद और अथर्ववेद में जो है हमको विवेक और विज्ञान देखने को मिलता है। इसको हम लोग कह रहे हैं कि जो वैदिक ट्रेडिशन है, जिसको श्रुति परंपरा कहते हैं, यही श्रुति परंपरा जो है जब ऋषियों के माध्यम से अभिव्यक्त होती है उसको स्मृति कहते हैं, और स्मृति अल्टीमेटली नैतिकता की ओर, मॉरल लीडरशिप की ओर ले जाती है। इसीलिए जितनी भी फिलॉसफीज जो है वैदिक परंपरा से निकल के आई हैं वो मॉरल लीडरशिप की बात करती हैं, और इसीलिए इन सब फिलॉसफी से निकल के जो भी लीडरशिप हिंदुस्तान में डेवलप हुई, जिसको हम स्पिरिचुअल रिलीजियस लीडरशिप कह सकते हैं, वो मूल रूप से दर्शन परंपरा के रूप में है, जिसको हम षट दर्शन कहते हैं, जिसमें न्याय, वैशेषिक, सांख्य, योग, मीमांसा और उत्तर मीमांसा मुख्य रूप से दर्शन परंपरा के रूप में भारत की आध्यात्मिक जो लीडरशिप है वो हमको देखने को मिलती है। विगत 1000 साल को यदि हम देखते हैं तो शंकराचार्य जी और उसके बाद की जो परंपरा है वो भक्ति मार्गीय परंपरा के रूप में एक लीडरशिप की बात जो है हम हमारी परंपरा में देखने को मिलती है। जैसे तुलसीदास हैं, कबीरदास हैं, नानक हैं, इन सभी लोगों ने पूरे समाज को एक आध्यात्मिक, धार्मिक जो है नेतृत्व प्रदान किया है, और उस नेतृत्व के कारण से ही हम भारत की संस्कृति को पहचान सकते हैं। एक ये हमको ध्यान रखने की जरूरत है कि वैदिक परंपरा जो है वो किस तरीके से एक आध्यात्मिक नेतृत्व को उसने पैदा किया, एक आध्यात्मिक और सांस्कृतिक और जिसको कहें कि मॉरल और इथिकल जो है फ्रेमवर्क को भारतीय समाज के लिए उन्होंने प्रस्तुत किया। इसके साथ दूसरी जो महत्वपूर्ण बात है जिसमें हम कह रहे हैं कि ये वसुधैव कुटुंबकम की बात कर रहे हैं। ग्लोबल पीस फाउंडेशन से जुड़ने का मेरा जो मकसद था वो यही था कि जीपीएफ जो है वो वसुधैव कुटुंबकम की बात कर रहा है, यानी वन वर्ल्ड अंडर गॉड, इसकी बात कर रहा है। और इसीलिए हमने बहुत सारे कार्यक्रम जो है जीपीएफ इंडिया के माध्यम से ऑर्गेनाइज किए, उसमें पार्टिसिपेशन किया, क्योंकि वसुधैव कुटुंबकम भारतीय जो संस्कृति है उसका एक उद्घोष है। यदि हम वैदिक परंपरा को देखते हैं तो सर्वे भवन्तु सुखना के रूप में भी है, वसुधैव कुटुंबकम के रूप में भी है। तो इसलिए जो सर्व सुख की बात भारतीय परंपरा में, हमारे जो पूर्व के स्पीकर हैं जिसमें प्रोफेसर मार्कंडे राय जी हैं, दीपक कुमार जी वर्मा जी हैं, उन्होंने भी जो है वसुधैव कुटुंबकम सर्वजन हिताय सर्वजन सुखाय की बात की है। तो हमारी भारतीय जो परंपरा है उसमें एक इथिकल जो है लीडरशिप या इथिकल जो है एक फ्रेमवर्क हमको देखने को मिलता है। और मुझे लगता है कि इसी फ्रेमवर्क को इम्प्लीमेंट करके यदि हम यंग लीडरशिप में इसको इम्पार्ट करते हैं तो जो जीपीएफ का जो उद्देश्य है और जो BR अम्बेडकर यूनिवर्सिटी करना चाहती है उसमें हम सफल हो सकते हैं। मुझे लगता है कि अम्बेडकर यूनिवर्सिटी इसके लिए एक सबसे एप्रोप्रिएट जो है मंच है, जहाँ से जो धर्म जाति नस्ल आदि से ऊपर उठ के एक वैश्विक मानसिकता को, एक अखंड मानसिकता को जो है उसकी प्रेरणा को भारत सहित पूरे विश्व में पैदा किया जा सकता है। और मुझे लगता है कि ये जीपीएफ के साथ हमारी पहली कॉन्फ्रेंस नहीं है, अब हम एक सीरीज ऑफ कॉन्फ्रेंस वेबिनार जो है आदरणीय मार्कंडे राय और ध्रुवा जी के सहयोग से करेंगे। और उससे लगता है कि एक नई लीडरशिप, एक नया प्रकाश जो है पूरी दुनिया में फैला पाएंगे। और इसी के साथ मैं अपनी वाणी को विराम दे रहा हूँ। बहुत बहुत धन्यवाद प्रोफेसर गोस्वामी जी,
बहुत सुंदर
जी,
सुंदर सुंदर
की बात आई है।
डॉक्टर सुरेंद्र पाठक जी, मैं आपका बहुत ही अनुग्रहित हूँ और आपने जिस तरह से संक्षेप में गागर में सागर जो भर दी, और अब इसको कोई आगे कहने की जरूरत नहीं है, क्योंकि अपनी मादरी ज़बान में दी हुई चीज़ सबसे अच्छी तरह समझ में आती है। हम आपके सहयोग के लिए, वैसे मैं एक चीज़ कहना चाहूँगा व्यूअर्स को और को, सिंस आई एम इन द चेयर सो आई हैव टू स्पीक इंटरनेशनली, so I am talking in English, that he is the backbone of this conference with the collaboration of GPF as well as the great university being run by the great, the women power, Professor Asha Shukla, as the Vice Chancellor of this university, Baba Dr. Bhimrao Ambedkar University. Dr. Bhimrao Ambedkar doesn't require any introduction, apart from being the president of the Constitution of India, or the father of the Constitution of India. He has 29 degrees and the decorations, one of the highly qualified. So when you talk about the university, you think as you are going to have a dip into the ocean of knowledge. Thank you very much. And now we come to the next speaker.
Thank you, Chair. Thank you, Dr. Pathak ji, for your very, very profound presentation. So I would like to request for our next presentation. He is Dr. Chand Bhardwaj. Of course, he is a science and spirituality chair in this presentation. Dr. Bhardwaj have done PhD from Intercultural Open University at the Netherlands, 2007. He is also the MBA from the Faculty of Management, Ministry of Industrial Development and University of Delhi, 1969. He is a General Secretary on SWAN, the Satsang Society, Delhi, since 1992. He is also the founder for the Seed Society for Systematic Education for Everybody's Development. He is also the founder, co-AM, co-relation of Attention, Information and Material founder. He is also a life member of the Worl Association of Vedic Studies. And also he is a life member of the WASH, World Academy of Spiritual Science. Also, he is the faculty member for the Vivekananda Senatorial Mission Celebration 1993. He is an advisor to the Vivekananda Center Maldives. Because he hold a lot of positions and on this page. So I would like to request to share your wisdom, sir. The floor is yours.
Thank you very much, Dhruva, and all others who have organized this. And today's program is so nice and so exciting for me to talk, because this is the subject I've been pursuing from last 27 years. And Markandeya Sahab also knows about all this. So this is what that all the speakers who have spoken in this forum, now I have got all the solutions for all those problems on which we've been talking here since morning. Now the point which Markandeya Sahab raised, it was regarding spirituality. Now I would like to say that spirituality is the essence of all the religions, and spirituality in itself is not a religion. It's a unifying factor that provides the unity of the mankind and everything. So this is what is an area which we must work. So the basic work in spirituality has to be, which has to go to the children, students, right from the early ages, because up to the age of 7 years, a child understands 80% of his life, and remaining 20% he has to learn all over his life. And most of us have come up, and still we do not know what is that spirit in us, which is talking about spirituality, and what is that spirit of the whole cosmos. That is what has to be understood. So what I would like to say here, on my screen at the back, you can see something, a camera which is in the sky. So I would like to tell you that this camera is scanning the whole sky, and for many years, all those institutions, scientific institutions, including NASA and all others, been trying to scan the whole sky, that how big it is. Now, there are many theories, but what we could see out of this camera, one picture of the whole cosmos. So now this is scanning, and within half a minute, you will see that the whole picture which is emerging is a beautiful baseball kind of a thing, huge, having billions of stars and galaxies floating into it. Now here I'm trying to tell you the gist of this particular video which I'm trying to show you is that this particular cosmos which is now visible. So let us say this is a baseball kind of a thing which you can see on the screen. It has got, it is a visible universe. So now this is the body of the creator at the same time. What it has got a floating material bodies of billions and trillions of stars and galaxies in it. They are just floating into it. Now this is what is an area which I would like to say that the whole cosmos is one living entity. That's what I want to say. And it has got three basics: floating material bodies into it, made out of 100 and odd elements, and the gravitational magnetic fields that operate the whole cosmos from its beginning till its end, from Big Bang to black hole, are gravitational magnetic fields, which we call it as universal mind, which is embedded with information system, 2G, 3G, internet and all other communications are there, which float through this magnetic and gravitational fields. Plus, it has got laws of nature. The third law is very prominent, that every action has got an equal and opposite reaction. So now looking into this area, that the whole cosmos is made of three basics, One is floating material bodies, the universal mind embedded with information system and laws of nature, plus the particle and wave theory in the modern science has proved that there is something which is energizing the field as well as each atom in this whole universe. We are part of the whole. Now, the cosmos has got three basics, and I am also part of that. I have got those three basics: my material body, my mind, and my soul, which is a creative intelligence, we call it. And we call the God as absolute intelligence and a capable force that runs the whole cosmos. Now you can see that the whole creation is an intelligent design. If it is an intelligent design, there got to be an intelligent being, You can see even a blade of grass is intelligently designed. So now the science being telling that the
that the material created consciousness, whereas the difference is only that the consciousness created material, which is very easy to understand. Now, this knowledge that we are three in this body, even that small little seed, which is three, again, it has got a material body, it has got a mind. Mind means whether it is of a mango or a gram or a wheat, then it has got that creative intelligence in it. It's a living entity. And once you put this that seed into a dry sand, it won't germinate because it already knows how to rather work on it. So as soon as the rain comes, the multitasking starts. You know, a lot of tentacles of the root start going into the ground. The bud starts rising towards the sun. And all the children are taught that it is photosynthesis. That plant already knew how to use that solar energy. We are making solar panels now. So let me say that the creative intelligence of that seed is part of all knowing, all pervading. And the wonderful part, which everybody said in this meeting, that the service area. Now that seed is not producing for itself. The mango tree is not producing mangoes for itself. It is for the birds, it is for the animals, for the human beings. So if this nature is a serving area, that each human being, if he learns this from those natural things to serve. Now, if we serve each other, everybody is sufficient. You know, this is how we got to work on it, that this service area for every human being should learn that. So what we are doing, that we have developed that concept of co-aim theory and practice. It's a new philosophy, very innovative, and it is very unique, that it is correlation of your attention with information and material. What is that? I would like to say that the creative intelligence known as soul, which is connected to its source in real time, with its outer expression as your attention. So this attention passes through the mind which you acquired from the universal mind. So your mind is connected through the physical mind, is connected to the astral to the causal and to the universal. So all those minds are together, and those minds are only information, nothing else. So now what the youngsters got to know is about the mind, what this mind is playing with us. It is only information. So what is happening, that all of us do not know about the soul, about that creative intelligence within, that it has got beautiful attributes like love, compassion, mercy, as Charlene was telling about the love. So this is, love is the essence, because you know, the love, compassion, mercy, wisdom, humility, state of art, planning ability, let us face as it comes, and the justice, etc., are all divine attributes. Whereas the mind deals with information only, the information which it gains in the body, experiences and events, which are, you know, body needs are hunger, clothes, housing, vanities of the world, sex and sleep. Whereas the mind deals with the information of all this, which is known as lust, anger, ego, attachment, deceit, and pre-calculate the future, fears and worries get added into that. So now what is happening, as the universal mind operates your mind through high tide, low tide, because it is taking care of the karma theory, that it really triggers that blood into certain parts of your brain, and you behave accordingly, because the mind is operating this body, not the soul. So mind needs to be educated. This ignorant mind is information based only, my dear. Now this education is the most important area, to educate the mind of the whole world rather, for sustainable human transformation. And how we can do that? By educating the people, how to start this education right from the childhood, you know, from the early childhood. What we got to say, that you have got these divine attributes with which you should run. What is happening? Body and mind together in tandem, they create emotions, and emotions create terrorists out of you. And you do not know that you have got something in you, which is your soul, which has got all the solutions of life. Because those solutions are based on love, compassion, mercy, wisdom, etc. So all those attributes of the divine are there in you, which have to be told. Then how to get connected with this, how to have that experience of the divine, that how you de-link your attention from body and mind and link it to the source. It is not focusing of attention in yoga. There are 3 yogas. One is physical yoga, another one is mental yoga, the third one is the spiritual yoga. So spiritual yoga is the knowledge, that how you can have an interaction with the energy that runs the system. And after death, this energy leaves the human body. This energy is part of absolute intelligence and a capable force that runs the whole cosmos. So now if we realize that we are those 3 and we are that soul, the mind needs to be told about this. Because mind is a modem in between, and it has got a lot of viruses in it. Because if I give you an example of a computer is a hardware. It has got a software, which is the mind, and hardware is the body of the computer, and you are the operator. So the soul is the operator, and the children doesn't know this, and they do not know what soul is, because even the psychology subject has been taught and developed by Westerners. They have been searching for the soul. Instead of that, they could find only mind and body to work on. So what they have done, they have developed the psychology subject based on body and mind. And what they have done, they have explained that love, which Charlene was saying, that love is the essence. There, what they did, that at the level of the mind, they have explained that love as lust. And at the level of the body, they have explained it as sex. Now, instead of explaining love as caring, which is there in the mother's area, that how mother cares for a child. So love is caring. And this was never told to the students, not to the whole world. So now they are all working on body and mind. It is lust and sex instead of caring. So this is what is minus in our education system. And what I was saying, that attention is the outer expression, as I explained, that small little plant of the seed, looking towards the sun, we cover it up with a box to block the sun and make a hole underneath from where a sun ray goes every morning. This plant will turn down and come out of that hole towards the sun. So first chapter to the child is to know the potential of the attention, that wherever the attention goes, the divine energy flows. So we got to, direct our children how to really use this concept of co-aim theory in practice, that how the divinity should run this mind and body instead of mind and body together run. Now, in a small little example I would like to give, it is on democracy. Now, how this democracy is working here, we must understand the personal democracy first, that we are 3 different fellows here. Body and mind will vote together and they will rule the soul. That is what is happening. So what I would like to say, that the body gets, it can join the soul, which is love and devotion, which can help us to rule the mind also. But then the mind comes into opposition, and opposition creates terrorists, They keep on blasting those bombs, etc. So this mind is very naughty. So what we have to do, that the mind needs information to be taught. And once we can bring the mind with the jnana, with the knowledge, to join the soul, because it has got all those solutions. Mind is looking for temporary pleasures, because all those attributes of the mind, which is, I am explaining, lust, anger, ego, attachment, deceit, fears, and worries, are only not sustainable. Whereas all the divine attributes of the divine, which is love, compassion, mercy, wisdom, humility, state of art, planning ability, are all divine and they are all sustainable. So I think within these 10 minutes, I could do a little point, because there are so many areas. We want a non-political and non-sectarian organization to work on it. I would like to read these few lines and close my thing. To create a common non-religious, non-political platform for all spiritual movements in the world, which are focused towards the spiritual liberation of an individual, irrespective of one's caste, creed, belief, or rituals. Then to nurture the fundamental longing in a human being to seek the truth about the nature of one's existence. Then to collectively work in a manner which is efficient, comprehensive, cohesive, and relevant to the present times with science and logic. To educate the world about the universal nature of spirituality, as I say that all the religions are one, here I would like to say the spirituality is the essence, as I explained initially. It is Jyoti and Shruti in Indian religions. In Islam, it is known as Noor and Kalma. And in Christianity, it is known as light and word. The word was made flesh. And in science, it is known as particle of light and the wave as sound. So it is particle and wave theory. And the mind which runs with high tide, low tide, it runs your mind. So mind is only information based, nothing else. Now, if we understand this part, that how the need of the hunger, the body need, it withdraws your attention, and attention takes you towards the kitchen. By the time you are walking, the mind adds on the information of taste it had earlier. Now the mind informs because it is that information which it had earlier. Now the mind informs that the money mother has kept under the pillow, and that there is a shop you go and bring and feed me. So this is how body and mind are using our soul like a donkey day in and day out. And if we can educate our children on this, something wonderful will happen. And we have developed a curriculum right starting from the first KG to the higher education. So primary, secondary and all. And we are working on it. I hope you would have understood my point within this small little time. And there's a lot of things to be done, and let us join hands together to do it. Thank you very much.
Sir, may I ask a question?
Please.
Sir, I'm a mother of two sons. One is 5 and one is 9. How do I teach them that they have the power within them?
Yeah, you have to tell them this small little examples we have developed, that as the giraffe has got 7 bones in the neck, humans have got 7, the dog has got 7. The attention of the giraffe was to eat the tender leaves from the top of the tree, and gradually his neck became taller. In Thailand and especially in Burma, the women use those rings around the neck. Their neck has got only 7 bones, but their attention has gone there. They have put those rings around the neck to make the neck taller, because they believe that this is what happens. So this is how you got to tell the potential of power of attention, on which we have worked a lot, and we have developed so many stories for children. So please get in touch, ask my email and other things from the organizers, so that we can interact and tell you how to deal with your children on this, how to develop, how to tell them the potential of power of attention, which has got divine attributes to run their life, because they have got all the solutions. Thank you very much.
Sir. Thank you for your answer.
Well, if there are no questions, I must thank Dr. Chand Bharadwaj. He's the ocean of knowledge, and I know him personally, and proud to be a friend to him. And I must say what he said. He has not only said, he has practiced in his life. He is the great yogi himself, not by words, by action even. Thank you very much, Dr. Bharadwaj, for giving a beautiful synchronization of your body, mind, and soul, science and spirituality, and the interpretation of the Vedic things with the scientific knowledge. Thank you very much, Dr. Bharadwaj.
Thank you, Chair. Thank you, Dr. Chand Bharadwaj, for enlightening us. Our next speaker is from Nigeria. I would like to introduce you to him. He is Reverend Joseph John Hayab. He was a special advisor on Christian and pilgrims matter to 2 former governors of the Kudunga state, northwest Nigeria, for 5 years, and a member of many interreligious committee for over 21 years. Also, Hayab is a chairman, Christian Association of Nigeria, Kaduna State chapter, and vice chairman, CAN 19 Northern State, and the Federal Capital Territory of Nigeria. He has served as a panelist for the side-by-side movement and the gender justice at the 62nd and 63rd session, CSW at the UN and the headquarters in New York. Moreover, that he is a very, I have a privilege to listen his speech few days back. He was more than that. He is one of the peace builders in the Nigeria where it is needed most. So floor is yours, Reverend Hayab. So since Reverend Hayab is we are not able to listen to him, so we will look forward to hearing him from maybe after for a while. Next speakers, he is our chair of this very special forums and discussion today. He is Professor Birendra Kumar Goswami. He is a visiting scientist in NASA as well as different other organizations. He is a ex-Vice Chancellor, Sangam University and Sunrise University. Also, he is a retired Wing Commander. Professor Birendra Goswami is the Professor Emeritus and member AGU, SCB, AIMS, and IAMs. He is also the advocate in Supreme Court.
Okay. Thank you. I have me connect.
Joseph, have it back.
Thank you. Yeah. The mic was refusing to come on from my side.
You are welcome. I am happy that you are back.
Yeah, thank you very much. When she suggested that I should put off and come back, I think it's now back. Thank you. Let me begin by thanking the organizers for inviting me. And this is a good opportunity because I'm meeting Bakanda Ryle. I'm seeing his face directly for the first time. And many wonderful people that I've seen here and I've listened to your comment. I have only 10 minutes to quickly share my thoughts about this very important subject, and I don't intend to waste our time than to just go to what I want. I hope you can see my screen from there. Thank you. If you can see my screen, I'm actually just briefly sharing on moral leadership, spiritual wisdom, multiculturalism for peace, and harmonious war. The One Family Under God campaign by the Global Peace Foundation Nigeria advanced programs that promote moral leadership, spiritual wisdom, and multiculturalism in diverse ways to benefit not only local communities, but the larger society, the nation, and ultimately the world. Because as one of the speakers said, every peace contribution starts with me. If I'm at peace and I extend it to my home, to my community, to our nation, the world at large also will be at peace. So GPF Nigeria has been responding to moral leadership, spiritual wisdom, and multiculturalism to promote peace in diverse ways through two thematic programs area. We do programs on social cohesion and peace building. GPF Nigeria has been working with diverse community people to promote social cohesion and peaceful existence through these four activities. One, interfaith dialogue. In Nigeria, we are people of faith. We hold so tenaciously to our faith. And so we use or we leverage on that to work with faith leaders. We also work with women and youth to form dialogue among them. We have a culture like many of these third world countries where women and youth are not allowed to speak, and sometimes their views are not accepted. But we are trying to change from that. We are helping to bring out more youth voices and many women voices in our approach to peace building. We also work or we do community service project, and we organize peace festival to celebrate unity in diversity. We have such a wonderful, rich culture, but sometimes when we have tension around you, forget about those things and we start hitting at each other. So we promote or we celebrate peace festivals to remind people that diversity should be a source of strength, not a reason for war. We also empower families and youth. GPM Nigeria has prioritized social economic empowerment as key component in dealing with complex social problems by engaging diverse women and youth in financial literacy for improved livelihood and peace building process. We've realized that one of the reasons why we have a lot of crises is because of the rate of poverty. We have many poor people in Nigeria, and when people are poor, the chances is that they go into very terrible things that you cannot even imagine. Part of the economic empowerment program is what we did last year. GPF Nigeria piloted an economic empowerment scheme with 40 women in Kaninkong Chiefdom. Kaninkong Chiefdom is a community that has suffered so much violence. On Christmas Eve of 2006, over 18 people were killed on that Christmas Eve. So we work with them to restore peace and togetherness, and we were supported by the Gayatri family through our GPW women to do a project which we tag Mrs. Gayatri Ryle Memorial Economic Empowerment Project. And that project was a success, and we are still yearning to go further and do more in other communities.
Okay, I think I presume it's over, or Joseph, Father Reverend, would like to say something more.
You can see some pictures of the symbol. Okay, can you hear me now?
Yes.
Hello? Okay, you can see myself and Sheikh Mara, my colleague, doing the symbolic presentation of the seed money we gave to the women to start little business. On the right, you will see is a Muslim woman. On the left, you will see is a Christian woman. What we did was to bring Christian and Muslim women together so that as they do business together, they can go to their home and speak peace to their husband, peace to their children, and the community at large will be at peace. We also do the mainstreaming youth voices in peace building process. This project was piloted in Abuja, the federal capital, and we had a very fantastic conversation for 4 months with the youth. The picture on the other side is the final exercise where the Ministry of Youth and Sports had a representative, the National Drug Law Enforcement Agency had a representative, and the National Institute for Peace and Conflict Resolution in Nigeria also had a representative. The fact is that I received a letter just last week from the Minister of Youth and Sport in Nigeria, who commended Global Peace Foundation for the wonderful work we are doing in changing youth's perception about peace and togetherness in Nigeria. Let me conclude by sharing with you 5 ways in which our One Family Under God has been supporting moral leadership, spiritual wisdom, and multiculturalism for peace and harmony. 1, we have always identified a set of values. We encourage faith leaders, women, youth, and traditional rulers to guide themselves with values and ethics which include integrity, respect, accountability, community-driven approach, inclusion, fairness, and service. Because we believe that when such values are well inculcated in a community, the chances for them to dialogue, to talk with one another will actually be very strong. We also encourage people to manage their ego. GPF motivates community people to recognize that their interest is not the most important thing, but the interest of the community and serving one another. Another thing we do is we encourage people to consider diverse groups of people and include their view. GPF do not impose her view on others. Instead, we consider other views. So we go there not to show them that we know this, that we have the solution to their problem, but we want to listen to them. And from what they are sharing with us, we can guide them to see that they even have the solution. So we interact and understand each other's, and the combination of our view and the views of the diverse group that inform our vision for a better future. Another thing we do is we encourage people to embrace change. GPF encourages community members to be convinced that they can bring about positive change in their community for better life without interference of outside agents. Most of the conflicts we have among us is because people from outside walk into community, instigate people against one another using religion, using political ideology, or using political identity, or using whatsoever identity they believe that will work for them. So we try to encourage people to work together in their community and bring about a change that will improve their lives without giving space for outsiders to come and interfere. Another thing we do is we build consensus and establish unity. GPF Nigeria unites community people by bringing them to participate in pursuing a common goal that strengthens their bond of unity. Nigeria, one of our motto is unity in diversity. We have over 300, if not 400 ethnic nationalities in Nigeria. Sometimes a little slight provocation will make the other community to go against another. And that is where you hear killings, you hear destructions, or people of certain religious identity killing another identity. So we try to build a consensus and establish unity among religious people, traditional people, community people, women and youth, so that when people begin to talk together, even the coming of youth, women, faith leaders, and traditional rulers is another way of forming unity. Where in the past they were not used to sit together to dialogue about issues of their community, but now every segment of the community is involved. Recently, we brought on board people with disability because we just realized that sometimes in our conversation to bring about peace, we ignore them. We have brought them on board and their contribution is fantastic. It is helping in the work we are doing. So let me pause here and thank you for the opportunity I have to share our work in building, in establishing moral leadership, spiritual wisdom, and multiculturalism in our community. Thank you and God bless you.
Okay, I think Dr. Joseph, thank you very much for this nice one, and it's good that you could come over the technical problems and we could enrich with your knowledge to ourselves. Well, I think that's my turn now, and before Dhruv says, I said let me take over the mic myself.
Thank you, sir.
Okay, after having done the unpleasant duty of the chair of pointing to erudite speakers, please, and raising my hand and requesting them to conclude, now I come on a very pleasant duty of paying my gratitude and thanks to the Honorable Vice Chancellor, and the women power, I must say, Professor Ashish Shukla, and the President of Global Peace Foundation of India, that is my friend Dhruv. But I must tell you, not last but least, or rather, it's otherwise, Professor Surendra Pathak, who is the backbone of this education of all this webinar under the guidance of the erudite professors. And very thankful to all the erudite speakers, right from the opening batsmen for Dr. Markandeya Rai and Dr. Chand and the Father Joseph, I must say. And I must thank you everybody. And now let me do a beautiful synchronization of all the knowledge. I say beautiful, not for my synchronization. It is for the knowledge which has been imparted by the august speakers. Well, we started right from, I have made very nice presentation because I know I have got the 15 minutes and it's not, I don't believe in preaching. So if I requested anybody can raise for me hand if I also exceed the 15 minutes. Well, that's a great pleasure of mine. After all my gratitude things, the topic today is very, very close to heart that talks about I have given the heading. I will show you the power presentation because I have to ask how to share on the screen this one. But let me tell in the introductory part, I have tried to give a panorama of your moral leadership, panorama of your spirituality, and the panorama of your peace. And if all these three things are there in the healthy environment, which Dr. Ganesh said right in the beginning, that if you want to have peace, you have to have the environment clean. And with this basis only, I founded this organization, Environment and Peace Foundation 2016, with one aim, that with the innovative technologies, we must get deep-rooted from air pollution, land pollution, water pollution, plastic pollution, and even the mind pollution of any kind, if by innovative technologies, instead of just talking about peace, let's find the execution. Innovation is a life. As a matter of fact, if you ask me in my view, I will say innovation, thy name is life. Life, thy name is innovation. And where it ends, there strikes the arrow of death. It's a necessity of the mother invention. This always remain. And let's take an oath before I synchronize the beautiful lectures today that we must make this earth, Mother Earth, free of pollution, not only for present generation, even for the coming generation. With this appeal, now let me share you the PowerPoint presentation so that it will give the complete pavilion of the talks what the people have. And it's not easy job to synchronize, take the ocean of knowledge into a pot. That is not the job one could do, and I have not done that. But yes, I have picked up a few drops of knowledge from the ocean of knowledge which was shown today by the speakers and all the earlier speakers as well. Thank you very much. And now let's come to this.
हम लोग ऑनरेबल वाइस चांसलर साहब को जो है अपने उसके लिए आमंत्रित कर सकते हैं.
I agree. Yes, let us move. Agree.
Okay. So since we are experiencing these technical issues, I'm sure the generation gap and the using the technical it's not easy. Definitely, we all understand this situation over here. So next on, once the situation will go on, then Chair Goswamiji will present to us his presentation. So for now, next on, I would like to request Professor Asha Shukla to give us the presentation. She is the very important person for this meeting. As you know, she holds the very important roles over here as a Vice Chancellor of the University at Dr. B.R. Ambedkar University of the Social Science. She is used to be the academic background as a former head of Department of the Women Study in the University of Bhopal. She is also the famous literary person in the Hindi literature, awarded various awards. She is a member of various prestigious committees such as the UGC, NAAC, NCRT, ICSSR, and Public Service Commission, etc. She is also the member in various committees in the different University of India. So it's my pleasure to welcome you, Professor Asha Shukla. The floor is yours. Ma'am, you have to unmute.
नमस्ते. इतने मुस्कुराते चेहरे और हम सबके बीच में थोड़ा इंटरनेट का इशू. दुनिया में ऐसी कौन सी चीज है जिसकी बाधा को दूर ना किया जा सके. वो भी होगा, लास्टली भी होगा. आज वी आर और हियर फॉर ऑनलाइन इंटरनेशनल conference jointly organized by Dr. B.R. Ambedkar University of Social Sciences, Mahu, in collaboration with Global Peace Foundation India, on moral leadership, spiritual wisdom, multiculturalism for peace and harmonious world, Vasudhaiva Kutumbakam. I welcome to all of you, my friends from India and my friends from Globe. By browse. Let me have the privilege to share few things regarding my universities. Dr. B.R. Ambedkar University of Social Sciences, Mahu, its nickname Browse. Browse is basically a research university and its programs focus on imparting higher education, research, extension and training in all fields of knowledge and subjects for the betterment of the society, including constitution and democracy, national integration, democratic decentralization and local self-governance, social and educational empowerment, social orders, secularism, gender sensitization and women empowerment, religious and social harmony, human dignity, family and child welfare, quality, higher education, economic and financial empowerment among the weaker sections through capacity building and entrepreneurship development, welfare economics and policy reforms. Dear friends, in this university, we have 11 schools, 37 departments, and more than 100 programs, academic programs. We are running 9 chairs, and also we have approved, university has approved by our academic council 9 honorary chairs. I must say in this forum, the nomenclature of these honorary chairs are Peace, Harmony and Sustainable Development Chair, Environment, Climate Change and Peace Research Chair, Harmony through Media Research Chair, Science and Spirituality Chair, Research Chair for Madhyasth Darshan Se Astitwavad, Law and Justice for Harmonious Society Chair, Ahimsa, Harmony and Jain Heritage Chair, Jain Philosophy Chair, Lord Buddha Studies and Cultural Heritage Studies Chair. So we have approved these chairs by our academic council, and very near future we are going to start working with these chairs with the honorable chair professors. We are the nomination of the process of the chair professors is under process. Friends, today I am very thankful Professor Dr. Virendra Goswami ji, Honorable Chairperson of this international webinar, very cool and smiling face, innovative ideas. Also, I want to mention Dr. McKinley Ricer for keynote speaker of this international webinar, Shri Aya Goto from USA, Charlene from Philippines, Cynthia from Indonesia, Dr. Surendra Phatak, my colleague, Dr. Chand Bharadwaj ji from Delhi, Reverend Joseph John Hayab from Nigeria. Just I visited 2 years back Ghana because my son is posted there, and I have seen, because I am working in the area of gender sensitization, so I meet the minister of Ghana, and in near future I will meet to you also for Women and Youth Dialogue Forum in near future also. Shri Honorable Minister, former Minister for Environment, Science and Technology from Nepal, Shri Ganesh Sahaji, and participants. Friends, I think Cynthia is the youngest eminent scholar, eminent speaker, so I must appreciate to her for her wonderful lecture. And due to the very, very possessive for women empowerment, I wish to also congratulate to Charlene also. Dear sir, when I was working with Politics, Crime and Society on my book, राजनीति, अपराध और समाज, जब इस किताब पे मैं काम कर रही थी, तो मैंने ये समझने की कोशिश की कि बढ़ती हुई हिंसा, इंक्रीजिंग वायलेंस, सबसे पहले हमारे माइंड में होता है। वो हमारे विचारों से दूसरों के विचारों में जाता है, क्योंकि विचारों की यात्रा एक से दूसरे तक बड़ी आसानी से पहुंच जाती है, लेकिन कौन सी चीज हमारे मन में ठहर जाएगी, रुक जाएगी, उस विचार का विस्तार करेगी, और ये सारी चीजें उसी से कनेक्टेड होती हैं। डॉक्टर चांद भारद्वाज जी साइंस और स्पिरिचुअलिटी की बात कह रहे थे, मैं सोशल साइंस और स्पिरिचुअलिटी की बात कर रही हूँ। जब इंक्रीजिंग वायलेंस पे मैं काम कर रही थी और उसके कारणों को ढूंढ रही थी, तो मुझे लगता कि स्पिरिचुअलिटी इज द मेन फोकस, जो हमें रोकता है कि कोई है जो हमें देख रहा है। अगर हिंसा हमारे दिमाग में आती है, अगर कोई विचार गलत, निगेटिव हमारे दिमाग में आता है, तो उसके पहले काम करने के पहले वो चीज हमें रोकती है, चोकती है, लेकिन अगर हमने एक बार उस कदम को ब्रेक किया, हमने अपनी सीमा रेखा को पार किया, तो फिर हम उसके आदी हो जाते हैं, हमें फर्क नहीं पड़ता। राष्ट्रीय शिक्षा नीति मल्टी डायमेंशन, मल्टी एकेडमिक सब्जेक्ट्स पे बात करता है, विश्व बंधुत्व पे बात करता है, विश्व गुरु के तौर पर भारत की प्रतिष्ठा पे बात करता है। मुझे लगता है कि भारत प्रतिष्ठापित था, है और रहेगा, लेकिन चूंकि हम अपने निजी स्वार्थों के कारण, दोहरे चरित्रों के कारण, कथनी और करनी के अंतर के कारण इन सारी चीजों को भूले हुए हैं, तो हमें बार बार उस प्रतिष्ठा को जगाना पड़ता है, हमें बताना पड़ता है। भारत का योग विश्व से योगा होके लौटा और हमने उसको अपनाया। ऐसे ही भारत का स्पिरिचुअल, अगर आप वैदिक फिलॉसफी में जाए, वीमेन इन विजडम पे जाए, आप इस तरीके की चीजों पे जब काम करते हैं, परिवार में जब सहस्तित्ववाद पे काम करते हैं, तो जो पावर गेम है वो हमें कहीं नजर नहीं आता। परिवार में हमेशा संकट इस बात का है कि कौन बड़ा है, कौन छोटा है, कौन नेतृत्व करेगा। अगर हम सब मिलकर कुछ काम कर लेते हैं तो इस सब की कोई जरूरत नहीं होती है। मुझे लगता है ये विषय सिर्फ दिल से दिल जोड़ने का है, भावनाओं से भावनाओं को जोड़ने का है, एक दूसरे की कमियों के साथ एक दूसरे को अपनाने का है, थोड़ा सा मुस्कुराने का है, थोड़ा सा भूल जाने का है। हम छोटी छोटी बातों को दूसरों की बहुत याद रखना चाहते हैं और अपनी बड़ी सी बड़ी कमजोरियों को भूल जाते हैं। अगर हमको सहस्तित्ववाद में जीना है, वसुदैव कुटुंबकम में जीना है, तो तय बात है कि हमको अपने पॉलिटिकल सिनेरियो पे पूरे ग्लोबली इस चीज को वर्कआउट करना पड़ेगा कि वो स्पिरिचुअली इस रिश्ते को एक करने में विश्वास करें और उनके एक्शन प्लान उस तरीके से होना चाहिए। एजुकेशन सिस्टम ऑफ द इंडिया इस लेवल पे काम कर रहा है। क्यों नहीं, भारत के सारे शिवलिंग में एक शिवलिंग का दर्शन करने हम नेपाल जाते हैं। घाना में जब मैं जाती हूँ, अफ्रीका में विजिट करती हूँ, तो मैं वीमेन एम्पावरमेंट को देखती हूँ और मुझे लगता है कि लड़कियां बहुत फ्री हैं। इंडोनेशिया में हम जाते हैं तो श्री राम के मंदिर पे हमको 10 उनकी मूर्तियां मिलती हैं। भारत में राम राज्य की संकल्पना है, राम राज्य को हृदय में उतारना है, आचरण में उतारना है। जहां आचरण में कमजोरियां हैं, वहां पे वसुधैव कुटुंबकम का स्तर हम कमजोर करते हैं। ये हमारी कमजोरी है, वो इंडिविजुअली भी है और संस्थागत भी है। हमें इन सब पे विचार करने की जरूरत है। हमारे सहयोगी डॉक्टर सुरेंद्र पाठक ने आप सबको जोड़ा है, बहुत परिश्रम किया है, वो इन सारे कामों से बहुत गहराई से जुड़े हुए हैं। मैं विश्वास करती हूँ कि इसकी रिपोर्ट भी बहुत अच्छी आएगी और अगर आप लोगों का सहयोग मिलेगा, आपके पीपीटी और आपके अगर हमको रिसर्च पेपर्स भी मिल जाएंगे, तो हमारी बहुत अच्छी किताब भी आएगी। ये पहला कार्यक्रम है जो हम ग्लोबल पीस और हार्मनी के साथ कर रहे हैं, लेकिन अंतिम पक्की तौर पर नहीं है। हम लगातार इस पे काम करेंगे और इस काम को बहुत ज्यादा आगे बढ़ाएंगे। समय सीमा की मर्यादा मुझे भी पालन करनी है, इसलिए आप सबको नमस्कार।
Our chair is back, so would you like to say something?
माइक अनम्यूट करके बोलिए सर, वीडियो और माइक अनम्यूट करके बोलिए।
Okay. I think I am audible now.
Yes.
Thank you very much for giving me this opportunity to be with you. And now I think I just come quickly to this PowerPoint presentation, which Surendra Pathak will be presenting. So it's a paranormal view of moral leadership, multiculturalism, spiritual wisdom for peace and harmonious world, that is Vasudhaiva Kutumbakam. Well, I start with the Rig Veda, the first Veda of all. There's about 5,000 years, more than that, an epic of great importance. That this is the gist. If we have to establish the peace in this world, the person having firm conviction and iron variation can attain the strength and energy. At no stage of karma does he ever hesitate. This has got the great meaning that we have to keep on working, and we should never hesitate to do the karma or action or whatever duty we have been allotted. I read a very good quote of Christopher Mulle, which I thought I would share, that read every day something which nobody has read that. Think every day something no one else is thinking. Do every day something no one else would be silly enough to do, and it is bad for the mind to be continuously part of anonymity. That is, you have to have the innovation, what I started first in the beginning. What is innovation? Your name is life, and life, thy name is innovation. Something you must keep on doing new, and then only this will happen. The next one. Next slide, please. I am not able to change. Pathakji? Oh, this next slide is not coming. Okay, it has come. So this is a paranormal view of moral leadership. What is leader? A person who leads of anything, that's known as leader. He says, I always create, never destroy. I always believe, never doubt. I am a successful person, not a victim. I have the capacity and knowledge to help the people. That is the definition of a leader. There are two types of leaders. There are soft leaders and the hard leaders. And the soft leader, they believe in the transformational hypothesis, and the hard leader, they believe in the transactional style of the thing. Now, for any leader, you have the high intention, sincere efforts, intelligent direction, and skillful execution. Leader is embedded with 5 C's. You have to have a character, commitment, conviction, courtesy, and grace. Among all these 5 C's, the character is the most important. Somebody said rightly, if health is lost, something is lost. If wealth is lost, nothing is lost, because you can earn it. Health, you can improve it. But if the character is lost, everything is lost. So the character is the most important thing so far a leader is concerned. Now, what are the tenets of a leader? He must have clear ideas, clear conceptions, and clear way of execution. And now I come to the second one. There's a vision and strategy of moral leadership. How a moral leader works. Moral leaders, or the ethical leader, what I say, is based on the philosophy of values, the values in the life. So diversity is the law of nature. Even 5 fingers are not same, and no human being are identical in shape, size, and identity. All do have different views and agreement to disagreement circles. So now what I want to explain here, when he is addressing a conference, and if there has to be disagreement with the people in any organization, some people will agree to your session, somebody will not agree to session. Instead of having the negative attitude, have the positive attitude. Start from the agreement circle and keep on increasing the agreement circle, and the disagreement circle will be reduced. And then, as I said, you have to be positive in mind. Instead of saying the glass is half filled, rather glass is empty or half empty, say the glass is half filled. So another thing, the ethical leader works on persuasion. He is not an autocratic type of commander. He is a persuasive type of commander. He briefs the team spirit, and very important thing, which with my experience of a director and the vice chancellor, and even in the commander in Air Force, I fought, or rather I found that you must adopt the award policy. Award the people instead of punishing the people. When you punish the people, you create criminals in the society. And when you award the people, you create a gentleman in the society. So this is a financial leader works on the persuasive leader with team spirit, how I told, and adopting a principle of a watch. What is this watch? Watch your words, watch your actions, watch your thoughts, watch your character, and watch your health. These are the very 5 ingredients. If you watch this, you will remain a good leader. You will remain an ethical leader. You see, leader can be different type. Unless you do not have the solid ground of ethics. I was seeing one of the interview. He rejected all the candidates and he selected one because he had the loyalty and the integrity in him. So I won't be taking much time because already 5 minutes have been wasted, but I will be with you only for next 10 minutes. So you must implement 3 I's, that is improvement, innovation, and invention. I have already developed some of the equations for this innovation ethics, mathematical equation, which will not bother you with the mathematics. These are the 21 sutras, which are given in italics, not by me, by Professor M.S. Rao. He has enumerated that there are 21 ingredients to be a good moral leader or a soft leader, what you call it, or the ethical. The leadership is a responsibility, not a badge of honor. Character counts, not charisma. He is a coach, not a critic. Build bridges, not barriers. Fight for petty things, not for petty things. Strive for excellence, not perfection. Failure is only a comma, not a full stop. Never say no too soon and yes too late. Praise publicly and punish privately. Spread the fame in success and take the blame in failure. Listen to all and take your call. You see, this very important, spread the fame and take the blame. Dr. A.B.C. Kalam has mentioned in his autobiography that you see when their first rocket launch got failed, that time Dr. Vikram Sahabai was heading the organization, and he said that my people have worked very hard and I am very and this failure blame I take on me, and I am confident the next time we will be successful. And when they got successful launching that first Indian satellite, you know what Dr. Vikram Sahabai said? He said, it all goes to my team and my great scientists that we are able to launch this. This is the leader. This is the example of moral leader. Same is the moral leader is Barack Obama. See, when Barack Obama resigns or hand over the charge of your presidency of United States, he hands over his White House immediately, goes back to a rented accommodation, doesn't use even the car of the presidential to go back to his house. These are the ethics. These are the morals. And similarly, I remember one education, morals in education, ethics in education. I remember when I was in Wisconsin studying, I wrote a research paper and I gave the name of my professor. You know what did he say? Dr. Virendra, why should you write my name? This is your research. Why? I have got no contribution. Please do not give my name. These are the ethical professors. And now come to the student. In the examination, when the student is writing, after 2 hours, he puts the pen down and know what he says? My time is up. Why should I write? These are the educational leadership. So for the student concern, educational ethics, so professor come. Quickly coming to the other tenets of this leadership given by Professor Rao, walk your talk, deal with people differently, leaders command respect, don't blame circumstances, don't compete, collaborate. On this don't blame circumstances, I come across the great Albert Einstein saying that I don't believe in circumstances. So I never blame the circumstances. You should always find what are the better ways. Like when the Thomas Alva Edison, he failed inventing the bulb, electric bulb, 10,000 times. You know what did I say? What did he say? He said, I have come to know that there are 9,999 the ways you cannot make the bulb. This should be your grace to accept your failure. And that is known as the great moral leadership. This can only be done by moral leadership. Now I come to the panormal view of multiculturalism. You see the world family under one God. But in other words, we are children of the same God. We are the global human. And what Dr. Markanday recited, the shloka Sarve Bhavantu Sukhna, Sarve Santu Navana, Sarve Bhadrani Pashyanti, Makashit Dukh Bhag Bhave. So, another beauty of our country is India is having rich heritage. I think when the God created this universe, as any industry when you start, so when the universe was started, the pilot plant was India. You find the highest mountains in the world, you find all type of terrain, deserts, Marine, oceans, you find all type of people, you find all type of faith, you find all type of culture in the world. Anybody come from any corner of the globe cannot say that he doesn't have the place to worship on this. See the beauty of the multiculturalism. You see, if you see very clearly, there are 5 words and there are 6 words. 5 words is your Gita, Quran, Bible, and your 6 words are temple, mosque, and your church. But all are leading to one thing, manzile ek par rahein alag alag. So it's just the out of love what you address to the creator of the universe. The all religions are same. You must respect your mother, but do not forget to respect other mother also. So this, if you do, the harmony will be there, and the combination of multiculturalism will be there. So India is a part, what I have told, peace is a manifestation of Om, Amin, and Amin. This is, if you can have synchronization of these 3, the harmony will prevail over this in this world. Now next one, please. Yes, now the normal view of spiritual wisdom. Swami Vivekananda had defined spirituality as a science of consciousness. That is what Dr. Chand Bharadwaj was talking, the synchronization of body, mind, and soul. If you do the synchronize, search for the eternal truth, hence it's intrinsic. You see, this is intrinsic, while science is extrinsic and transcendental of 5 senses. If that is so, then this can only be realized, believed, and may not be proved. While the science, the spirituality, you cannot prove, like scientific experiment, that's the difference. Both scientists and spiritualists, both are having the moral leadership, but only one believes and other only believes when he experiments. So, is the Gita, Nayanam Chindanti Shastrani, Nayanam Dehri Papka, Na Chainam Kardhyam Tapo, Na Shushati Marta. This is about the soul. The Gita has